never really were. The symbols are on the buildings. The names are in the files. The money has a trail. And the children have no voice. Except this one.
Follow the money, follow the access, follow the island, follow the list, now watch.
Epstein built the network, but the network was already there before he ever existed.
Every billionaire foundation, every charity front already enlisted. Rothschild, Rockefeller, 100-year architecture built on something darker. Children used as currency in rooms that no investigator gets to charter. Files got sealed, witnesses, mechanic guards fell asleep on the same night. Cameras malfunctioned in the exact cell at the exact time. How convenient, right?
The foundations collect the children. The governments collect the silence. The media collects the check. And they all answer to the same ancient name. Boom, 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 boom.
They built it in plain sight, symbols on the currency, owls on the buildings, goats on the altars, now watch.
Big government front organizations laundering children through charitable names.
Animal rescue operations used as cover stories nobody ever claims. Sacrificed on schedules that align with dates no coincidence can explain. Every major elite gathering, same ritual, same symbol, same refrain.
Rockefeller built the institutions, Rothschild built the banks. Both built the system that keeps the darkness.
Funded and protected from the people asking questions from the children with no name.
The island had a temple, the temple had an altar. The altar had a purpose that the mainstream never falters. To cover and to bury, to discredit and to burn. Every single person who gets close enough to learn. Do it for ball! They've been doing it for centuries. They do it for ball! And they sacrifice the ones who cannot run. Epstein did not build that network alone. The flight logs have names. The names have foundations. The foundations have access to children. Documented. In case files that keep getting sealed. In testimonies that keep getting buried. In witnesses that keep dying before they testify.
The banking architecture funded the institutions, the medical and educational infrastructure built the pipeline. Big government on every continent signed the agreements that gave these organizations access to the most vulnerable, and the symbol above every door in every room where this happens has always been the same. They serve something ancient and they pay in the currency that the powerless cannot protect. Every major world event has a financial beneficiary. Follow who profited. Every charity protecting children. Check who runs it and who audited. Every government agency tasked with stopping trafficking. Check conviction rates. Every elite foundation board member check their travel, check their dates. The animals too use this cover, use this currency, use this symbols and ceremonies. The documents keep referencing, but nobody is supposed to read. Crystal sees it, the gangster sees it, the files are public. The only thing missing is the courage to say it out loud. They do it for ball. Read the files.
They've been doing it for centuries.
Epstein was not alone. They do it for ball. Foundation money.
And they sacrifice the ones who cannot run.
Except this one.
The island, the temple, the altar, the list, sealed files, the dead witnesses. Bum, 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 bum.
No.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. It is your boy Danks, the American Dankster, and welcome to all of the new subscribers. Thank you to Baron for letting people know what is going on and who is dank in this sphere of the internet. But I gotta say, we've had a very interesting 24 hours, lots of information being divulged as a result of information coming out from the court, a lot of people doing research. I am just doing my best here to kind of catch up to speed on what's going on. So a lot of my live streams, just so you know, are live, right? Like we're researching live. So a lot of the stuff that we do happens in real time. So make sure that if you're watching, like for example, yesterday we went through the Discord information, but then we also ended up going through the iPhone and some things lined up with the images we were comparing, but then we showed more reasons why, besides what we thought were the emojis. Instead, the iPhone does have those tighter heart emojis, but we did show that because the timestamps showing, okay, this is what I'm trying to say. The feds and the police say they got Tyler Robinson's information from Discord on the 12th. When you say that, what you're saying is I received the information and those screen captures are from the 12th. The issue is that those screen captures that we see are showing from the 12th is what we are told. The problem is when you have screen captures on Discord from the 12th, and it's showing the day before, the 11th, it will not say the 11th. It will say yesterday. That is the most critical information, I think, out of all of it. The hearts and stuff can be debunked because we did it on our own live stream that day. But and most importantly, it's the dates, it's the text style. You can't change the text style on Discord, to my knowledge, okay? What you can do is you can add emojis, and different operating systems do have different emojis. So I do want to lay that out there and let you know that we have shown that in Discord, when you're looking at dates, there are things that do not line up from what we were given. Now, they could have been doctored. There's the most specific. I kind of want to go back and show that. I wasn't planning on doing that today, but to kind of cover from yesterday, right? When you are here, I'm going to show you, I think it's this screenshot. Let me pull this screenshot up real quick. 1 second. And I hope everyone's having a great day. Welcome to my show. Again, if you're new, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the notifications, because recently on Saturday, YouTube ripped me live from the air. They just cut off my live stream. And then they sent me a text, actually on X. They posted on X like, hey, sorry, we were incorrect. Thank you for your patience. We've reinstated your video and your account for live streaming. So I was banned for live streaming. The only thing is they didn't reinstate the video. The video's gone, right? So they didn't like what I was talking about. So if you want to see the information and stuff that I'm really discussing, it's super important that you do turn on notifications. I'm not just asking for vanity or any of that crap. I'm asking because it's important. Like if you want to see my stuff, the best chance you're going to get is subscribing and notifying. But let me pull up this screenshot here that I have and see and show you really what I mean here. So, okay. So there's one, and then I'll pull the second one here. I think, is it this one? Hold on 1 second. I think I have it. Oh, it was from that day. So because I wasn't planning on doing this, it's going to take me a second to find that clip. But give me just a second. I'll have it right now. So yesterday, FBI investigates, and it should be right around here. Put a 1 in the chat if you were here yesterday. Let me know if you were here, so I know what people, so I can get a gauge on what people were here and watched the whole show yesterday, and versus who was not. And then I've got these Discord messages right here. Okay. Where is that? That sucks. Oh well, I guess what I'm trying to say is they had a hyperlink, right? And the hyperlink itself was the issue, because when you look at a hyperlink in Discord, it actually shows within the message under the hyperlink. And when you respond to a hyperlink, it will not show. All right. It will not show in your reply in Discord. And that is one of the major issues here. Is this the guy right here? Let me see if this is the page. FBI investigates Discord. Well, I'll show you on mine. So here we go. Let me share the screen. Okay, so a lot of you were here yesterday. Okay, good. Okay. So I'm just showing you what it looks like when you put a hyperlink in. All right. So there's a hyperlink right here on x.com/Harrison Smith. I posted this X, and then it shows the hyperlink to the video. And you can see it again here. It shows the embed. So this is the hyperlink is the URL, and then the embed is here. Okay. What I need to do is I need to find the one where it shows what's the name? Clippington Tyler Robinson Discord. I think I can find it that way, just typing it in. Because this was kind of what had me really thrown off right here. I think it's this one. Okay, here it is. I found it. Thank goodness. I hate making you guys wait. Okay, I'm going to just take this image and put it in a new tab. Okay, so when you look at this is a brief overview from yesterday, because I do want to cover this before we dive in. Okay, so here, the way this works is it looks to me like they are blacking out a name, because you can see the blackout right here. Okay, so they're blacking out whoever was responding to him. The thing is, this is the beginning. Like, the best way to explain it is this is the beginning of a message right here. Okay, in order to get this hyperlink embed in here, you need this link to be under here. You see, under this markout. Otherwise, I don't know how you would get an embed without a link, unless maybe it's just a screenshot. That's the only thing I can imagine. The only thing. But why would you send a screenshot with the hyperlink? Because I went to this hyperlink. I actually went to it. I found it. Here, I'll show you real quick. Let me pull that page up that I went to yesterday. So right around that time, so yesterday afternoon, it was Helldivers. This is it right here. So this is the hyperlinks video that it takes you to, and it's a PlayStation game, and it shows Helldivers 2, right? You can see right here. Okay, so this is the screenshot or hyperlink, but I went to this hyperlink. Surely enough, it takes me to Helldivers 2. Problem though is that hyperlink should be down here. I don't know what that is and why it's that way, but I'm just telling you what I see. Another thing, these screenshots were said by the feds and by the police that they had captured these screenshots on the 12th. Okay. The date here. Like, here's a great example. So these are said to have been captured. I could be wrong, and I'm open to being wrong. It's all good. I'm not here saying I'm always right. I don't want to be always right. Let me fix my lighting a little bit. I don't want to be always right. I want to be correct. I'm not here trying to make things up. I want to be correct. But if you're telling me that this image was captured and received on the 12th, it wouldn't even show the 12th, right? It would show today, and then it would show yesterday. It would say yesterday, okay? Let me show you another example on my end, okay? So here's some messages from my community. So today, if it were taken today, it would just show today, the timestamp, all right? Now, if you go back, it says yesterday. It doesn't show the date. The only time it shows the date is when you're going and you're looking way back past the yesterday. All right. So that is the most important besides the text, the heart emoji. And I'll show you what we found from a friend in the Discord. So the heart does align with what they're showing. It's a little bit tighter. It has that shinier look. However, again, we still see yesterday, and then we see the date. Okay, so, yeah, and then also the text, right? So, if we look at Tyler Robinson's text messages, let's take a look because I haven't compared the text to since yesterday. Let's take a look. So let's go ahead and take that, open new image. All right. So these are his texts. Let me pull with the other iPhone text. Okay, right here. So then we'll compare that. So these are Tyler Robinson, allegedly his texts on, I would assume, only iPhone. And this is from another iPhone user. And we could compare the text. And I don't want to weigh too heavily here because for me, it's the dates. Okay. It's the dates, really, what they're telling us versus what we're seeing. All right. When we look at the dates on iPhone and stuff, it's not showing what we're supposed to see. The text, the formatting of the text looks similar. But again, when you're looking on an iPhone or any phone, the background is not black. It's just not. I mean, you could maybe set it up. See, that's the thing is Discord is very optimizable. But I don't want people to get hung up on the emoji or the text because I disproved that yesterday right in the middle of my live stream, thanks to the help of Honeybee, because I don't use iPhone or Apple products. But it is truly, it's the date. They told us it's the 12th. They received that information, but it's showing that they found it much later than that. So either they're lying, which wouldn't be out of the normal circumstance, or we are told, I mean, yeah, either they're lying or we have things completely wrong, which I'm open to whatever. It's totally fine. So that being said, I did want to clarify that because I don't want people running out. I saw a lot of X comments and posts and stuff. Oh, the timestamps show the emojis show everything and blah, blah, blah. I'm realizing as I get bigger and larger in sizing on my followership that I have a pretty big impact. And I want people to know I don't want to be wrong because then that my credibility will start to diminish. And I don't want that, right? That being said, we are going to talk about some more stuff that was covered by Baron. We're going to go a little bit deeper into that today. And again, if you are new here, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we're going to dive right into the show. Let me pull all this stuff away here. I do have a bunch of really cool stuff to show, important stuff to show as we get through today's live stream. So again, welcome. Thank you for joining. God bless everyone. I hope you're having a great Thursday. And again, if you're one of the 2,000 people, we've had an increase in 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. And thank you for being here over the last few days. Welcome. You're here because probably because something about the Tyler Robinson case doesn't sit right with you, right? And your instincts are right. Mine, I feel the same way. So today I'm going to do my best to go through exactly why we feel this way, especially as of most recently, using nothing but primary source documents. That's how I operate from source documentation. Okay. We're going to go through state's evidence. We're going to go through the words of official government websites and actual words at press conferences. And there's not really, I'm going to do my best not to speculate, but they seem to be speculating and they're dressing it up as fact, which I think is very interesting. Or they're just, in my opinion, trying to make us look in another direction or believe something that's not true. I don't know, but we could all be wrong. They could have it downright, and maybe we see some. Barron seems pretty confident. I almost want to show a clip from his show yesterday. He seems pretty confident. Like if we show the first 30 seconds here, I'll show you his. Let me see.
Well, we got him, ladies.
Yeah, I mean, he seems pretty confident. So let me show this. Respects to Barron. And so let's see what he's saying about this. Make sure the audio's on.
Well, we got him, ladies and gentlemen. We caught him red-handed lying. We caught him red-handed lying yesterday. And today I have bad news for the prosecution and the Fed sloppers. It's going to get worse. Guys, welcome in on the, well, I was going to say something I probably shouldn't say. On the heels of crushing the Fed slop narrative. I'll say that. On the heels of crushing the Fed slop narrative, we're going to have a big show today.
Like I said, he seems pretty confident. I think that he's got a lot more information he's broke that I want to dive deeper into. But again, I try not to bring opinion. I really like to attach receipts to my information. If I speculate, I will tell you that I'm speculating. If it's a question, I will frame it as a question. If it's a documented fact, I will show you the document on screen. That's how I operate. If you're new here, that's how I operate. So today is built on a certain set of documents. There's a 181-page motion filed. It was filed on March 30th, 2026. Excuse me. And in the case of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson, and the case number is 251-403-576. I tried to announce all of my numbers, not my numbers, but the numbers that I'm referencing. So if anyone wants to pull the transcript later, they can, and they can run it and verify for themselves and look up this information. So later, after this video processes, feel free to download the transcript and do your own research. I highly encourage that. There's another, so this is case number again, 251-403-576. And you can actually download the information. There's somebody here. I'll show you their page. It's Andrea Burkhart. Shout out to Andrea Burkhart for creating a Substack. And this is Andrea's Charlie Kirk legal documents. And she's got all of the state of Utah versus Tyler James Robinson, 4th Judicial Court, District, Utah County, docket number. And then this is the case docket list court filings. I'll go ahead and pin this to the chat. That way, everybody that is engaging has an opportunity to take a look at that. I'll pin it in the chat real quick. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. All right. And let me go into my live stream. Again, welcome to everybody. And if you are a member, just so you know, we do have member lives on Fridays. Every Friday, memberships lives only will start around 10 a.m. Totally different conversation. And if you want to join, it's only 99 cents. And everybody gets access to that for just 99 cents. Not to mention, if you are a member here on YouTube, you get access for free to any of the products that I build. I'm a full stack developer. I built a website that I'm in the middle of. I'm building a website called xalgoexposed.com. You could go to the website xalgoexposed.com. x.com. And if you want to learn how to make money on X, it actually teaches you the algorithm, and it's built on a points system. And that points system is explained with a chat bot and everything. Right now, there's just a sign up list. So go ahead and put a sign up on there. Let me know that you're a member by doing that, and you'll get access. So anything that I build, I have a bunch of websites that I build. I have AI agents that I build, my own custom bots, and you'll have access. If you have a Discord or anything like that, I'll give it to you if you're a member, right? So that is a benefit to being a Discord member or a YouTube member. Now, the pinned, here it is. So this is pinned message. So I pinned it on YouTube, okay? Now, going back into what we're going to discuss for today. Look, buried in this 70, on page 70, there's a piece of state evidence that is, in my opinion, really blows the entire official timeline completely apart. And that's what Barron has alluded to as well. And here's why it matters beyond Tyler Robinson. Okay. The president of the United States called this man a monster, a depraved assassin. The vice president described him as someone addicted to porn, addicted to hate, who ended up sleeping with somebody who doesn't know whether they're a man or a woman. The attorney general called him a horrible human being. The governor of Utah called him an evil human being and said he was deeply indoctrinated by leftist ideology. A retired FBI agent on national television called him a true sociopath. And Megyn Kelly said she can't wait until he gets strapped into an electric chair. In fact, I think it's important that we show that right there. Megyn Kelly is, I gotta say, man, it's pretty brutal to see somebody talk about somebody else like this. As a Christian, or I believe she says she's Catholic. It's just, it's kind of gross, right? Let's see if I can find the clip. I'm doing all this stuff on the fly now. Like I said, these are live operations. I think this is it.
Sick of this shit. I'm sick of it.
Sick of president. Here, let me find the oh, I think this is it. Okay, here we go. Boom. And boom. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. I think this is the one. Let's see.
Did this. It seems very clear to me.
Oh, yeah. This is the one. This is bad. We live in a country where we are proven guilty and innocent there until. And when everybody is coming out speaking this way about somebody in such a high profile case where everybody's eyes are on it, obviously YouTube is forcing this content down people's throats. I get triple the amount of views when I talk about this case. I get barely a third of the views when I'm talking about Iran or anything else. Okay. And I have great credibility with YouTube. All of my information is documented with receipts. But that's the thing, is what I'm trying to say is they're paying YouTubers more money and X creators more money to create this kind of content. So what happens is everybody's content that is Turning Point USA, Tyler Robinson driven, that is pushed out. So you see more of that. So what happens is when you have somebody like Megyn Kelly say this, all of the Zionists and all of the people pushing this specific narrative that are attached to Salem Media or aligned with their messaging, this is not how we should be operating this case. This is not a good look. You have millions of people. How many people? I don't know. Viewed. This is somebody else posting it, but just listen to what she says, and it's gross.
Did this.
She says Tyler Robinson did this. Here, let me.
Did this. It seems very clear to me. My only hope is that I can be there in the room when they flip the switch and take his life. I want him dead. I want the death penalty handed down against him and anyone who helped him. And I will be gleeful on the day it is carried out. I honestly don't know how that squares with my Catholic faith, to be honest. We're not real pro the state killing people or humans taking other humans' lives, whether it's in the womb or in the course of a crime. But we are pro justice. The Bible does say an eye for an eye. And there is no deterrence. I'm sorry, the deterrence, I do believe, requires the death penalty in the most heinous of cases.
Does the Bible say eye for an eye? Because I doubt that she's operating it. Okay, so it does. So the New Testament says eye for an eye, but only to cite as an Old Testament law that Jesus then contradicts and replaces with a teaching of grace, non-retaliation, and turning the other cheek. Remember, I told you I bring receipts. Okay. And I look and I learn to find out for myself. Okay. Eye for an eye, unless she's a Jewish person, which she says she's not, is Old Testament, and Jesus corrects this as the New Covenant.
And I do believe it should be requires the death penalty in the most heinous of cases. And I do believe it should be reserved for the most heinous of cases. And this is that. This is that. Charlie was shot down in the prime of his life. He had so much yet to offer. He was a loving father of two. He and Erika adored one another, lived for one another. They had so much yet to do. She wanted 4 children. So did he. He desperately wanted 4 kids. They have 2 and will never have another. Everything he's been cheated out of, everything those children were cheated out of, every happiness Erika has been cheated out of, everything the world, the country, a future president, we all believe that we've been cheated out of. He deserves to be put to death when he's convicted of this crime, which.
How can you say that when she's supposed to have a lawyer's background?
Did this. It seems very clear to me. My only hope is that I can be there in the room when they flip the switch.
How brutal. You know, we do have a little bit of fun here. I'm going to just real quick for the sake of, for the danksters.
Did this.
She kind of sounds like a drunk aunt when you play it.
Very clear to me. My only hope is that I can be there in the room when they flip.
All right, that's enough. I'm tired of you. Yeah, she really is brutal, you know, and I just don't understand when you look at all the people saying the same rhetoric, why they're so quick to pull this switch on Robinson. Okay? Every single one of these quotes that I'm going to show you, I mean, they're talking about calling him a sociopath, deeply indoctrinated by leftist ideology, a horrible human being, you know, before he's ever had his day in court. And I think that the people pushing this narrative should be held accountable for their words. If Tyler Robinson is proven innocent beyond a reasonable doubt, there should be some serious consequences because they're putting someone's life at stake. Yes, of course we want justice for Charlie, but not manufactured justice. Every one of the quotes that is documented in the defense motion I'm about to walk you through, every one has a citation, a YouTube link, a transcript. All of it happened before Tyler Robinson ever set foot in a courtroom. Before all of this stuff before he ever even set foot in a courtroom, they were talking like this. Before a jury was selected, before a single piece of evidence was tested or cross-examined. And here's the thing that should concern you regarding American politics is that the state's own prosecutor, Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray, stood at his own press conference on September 16th, 2025, and said the following words out loud. Okay, I'm going to play them for you. There's a timestamp here, so let me pull this up correctly. 45. This is what he said right here. 4508.
In the crucible of a jury trial. I understand the public's desire to know the facts. My own family members have pressed me for information. Why are we reluctant to share the details of the investigation itself and comment on the case? Because I want to ensure a fair and impartial trial. I became a prosecutor because of my love.
I want to ensure a fair and impartial trial. Let me see if I can back this up a little bit. It says 4508.
Federal officials has not been tested in the crucible of state and federal.
This is so, there's so much in this. Listen to this.
Allegations, what you've heard from the evidence set forth in this statement, those allegations, what you've heard from the media, even from state and federal officials, has not been tested in the crucible of a jury trial.
Those allegations, what you've heard from the media, even from the state and federal officials, has not been tested in the crucible of a jury trial. Yet they talk about it like it's a fact. Even from the state and federal officials, the state's own prosecutors acknowledged on the record that everything that the governor has told you, everything the FBI director has told you, everything the FBI deputy director has told you has not been tested. And then in the very next breath, he read Tyler Robinson's constitutional rights, including the presumption of innocence. And then every one of those officials went on national television and continued to declare guilt anyway. So today I'm going to walk through some of this timeline that these officials gave you. It does not match the state's own evidence. We have the defense motion. I've got the FBI director's official remarks on the FBI website. I have two conflicting booking reports from the same county. I have the county attorney's own press conference. We have the FBI deputy director on the Megyn Kelly show. And I have a timeline that falls apart the second you put all of these documents next to each other. So let's get into it. Again, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe, and share this with anybody who you think needs to see this, because I believe it's important that we at least try to share the truth. All right. So let me get a sip of water. One of the best advices I got was like, can you not put so much ice in your water, because it blink like hits. All right, whatever. Anyways, it makes the mic loud. Anyways, this is a legal filing. I'm going to show you a legal filing. The one that I mentioned that is 300 or 181 pages here. All right, let's see. Where is this filing at here? I think I have it downloaded. Let me pull it up. Thought I had it pulled up already. Oh yeah, this is it. Okay. Let me see here. Downloads, documents. Redacted motion. Okay, here we go. So right here. Okay, so this is the legal filing. Now, this legal filing was released on, you can see here if it has the date on it. Let me zoom out a little bit. So this is Catherine Nestor. It's got all the attorneys here. Attorneys for James Robinson, Tyler James Robinson. State of Utah, Tyler James Robinson. Now, this is a motion to exclude still photographers, TV cameras, and microphones from the courtroom. Evidentiary hearing requested from Honorable Attorney John Tony F. Graff Jr. All right. Now, I want to acknowledge, obviously, Andrea Burkhart, who maintains a public archive of every filing, so we don't have to go pay for it and search and download. So shout out again to Andrea. Go follow her on Substack. This is her page, just in case you want to see it one more time. You can check her out right here at Andrea Burkhart, and I'll just throw this in the chat real quick if you feel like saving that for later. Again, these are legal documents, okay? And I believe I put this stuff in the description. Now, the legal purpose of this motion, of the motion here that I'll bring back up on screen. The legal purpose, and again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a dumb YouTuber trying to make things available for the general public that don't have time to sift through it themselves. The legal purpose of this motion is to argue cameras should be kept out of the courtroom because of the pretrial publicity, and that it's been so extreme that cameras would further destroy any chance of a fair trial. That is the argument, okay? But on page 70, the defense includes something they did not have to include. They included the timestamps from a video in the state's own discovery. So if we go to page 70, that's 99. Let's go to 70 right here. Okay, this is the page. This is the page right here. Can you guys see it? Should I zoom in a little more? I don't know if I can here. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Okay. So on page 70, the motion states discovery Bates 5 zeros and a 7. At page 20, it indicates that on the evening of his arrest, you can see here, indicates that on the evening of his arrest, Tyler Robinson declined to be interviewed without having an attorney present. A video of the encounter at Bates at timestamp 3 hour 3:36:53 indicates the following. So Tyler, before we begin, I'm just going to read you your rights. That's an affirmative from Tyler. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer. Before we ask you any questions, you have the right to have a lawyer with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning begins. And if you decide to answer questions now, you can stop at any time. Okay. So are you good to proceed? I'd love to talk to you. And I would like to speak with my legal counsel. I'm hoping for a fellow in Utah named Doug Terry. Okay. Told he's a pretty good attorney here, but I think my folks are trying to get a hold of him, but I think his office is closed for the night. Now, it's interesting they say for the night because they don't say it's for the weekend. If we look at, let me see if I can pull up the calendar real quick. Not just that, the timing, and we're going to get into all of that. So let's go back to September. Okay. Let's show the month here. Can you show the whole month? All right. Go back to September. Okay. Let me clear that and we'll hide all that here. Make sure all of my personal information is not on my Google Calendar. All right. So if we look here, we can see this is September of 2025. Okay. The 12th is a Friday. The 11th is a Thursday. On this, it says 6:25 p.m. and he's saying for the night. Office is closed for the night. You would most likely say office is closed for the weekend if it was the 12th. All right. Remember, this time, 6:26 p.m. is actually very important. And this is showing the timestamp of the hour that this has been said. All right. Which, to my knowledge, we have not seen that information, that video, the full length clip. Okay. Unless this is 3 minutes, 37 seconds, 38 milliseconds, which I don't see why it would be the case. So he's asking for an attorney. It's closed for the night. I'm assuming since this is the 11th, they've actually got him on the 11th. Okay. And actually, we have documentation, which I'm going to show you throughout, that proves that he was in on the 11th. Now, until I've had the opportunity to speak with someone, I'd like to remain silent. And these are the facts that Governor, FBI Director, and FBI Deputy Director, and every other law enforcement who told the media that Mr. Robinson was refusing to cooperate with law enforcement knew or should have known. Yet not one governmental official who made such statements or any of the electronic media persons who reported such statements ever mentioned that Mr. Robinson had a Fifth and Sixth Amendment right to remain silent until his attorney was present. So they're saying that he is refusing to cooperate because he is using his constitutional rights. This is just incredible, right? So I read you through that, right? Now, let me tell you what the government official and every news outlet told everyone about this moment, about not cooperating and so on and so forth. Let me find this clip here. This is perfect. Let's take a look. This will show you exactly what we are looking at here. The type of people we're looking at, type of bullshit we're dealing with from a person who is supposed to be presumed innocent until guilty. All right.
Note in the apartment that he shared with his so-called boyfriend, transitioning into female, which is not a thing. And that the note had been destroyed, but that they had managed to recreate it somehow. Director Patel also confirming reporting that Robinson himself is not cooperating with the authorities. He indicated that the FBI is looking into social media accounts that appear to indicate foreknowledge of an attack on Kirk, but said they must be careful in how those messages are obtained so as not to taint the legal process. His work will directly lead to Pam Bondi's prosecution.
Let's take a look at the same episode. We go to 22 minutes here. 22:40. Yeah, right here.
Anything that would compromise the investigation. I
don't want to give up exactly what we have on the digital side right now because
that's fine.
There's going to be a charging
and I don't want to
document
make you do anything that would compromise the investigation. I want you guys to keep your hands clean. Is it true that Robinson is not cooperating?
Robinson, to this point, is not cooperating. He has an attorney, which is his constitutional right to do so. And hence, that's why, I did a cable interview news.
So Robinson, to this point, is not cooperating. He has an attorney, which has his constitutional right to do so. And listen to really what he just did. Okay. He acknowledged the constitutional right. And in the same breath, in the same sentence, framed exercising that right as not cooperative. Then he continued, it would be helpful at this point if Robinson would be cooperative.
Morning about this case. That's why there were some questions I'm hesitant to answer, because if he was cooperating in this case, again, most of us in the legal space, you included, know this. It's obviously easier to get answers because he is a suspect in the case. So
yeah, it's easier to get answers. Oh, I'm not playing it. Sorry, my bad. I pulled a Baron. Sorry, Baron.
Obviously, there were some questions I'm hesitant to answer, because if he was cooperating in this case, again, most of us in the legal space, you included, know this. It's obviously easier to get answers because he is a suspect in the case. So you'd like to hear from the suspect, if you're suspicious of the suspect, what exactly they say they may or may not have done. So there were some.
They literally tell you in the Miranda rights, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before advice, before we ask you any questions. You have the right to a lawyer with you during question. They're literally telling you, if you open your mouth, and everyone needs to know this, if you open your mouth without a lawyer, they will use it against you. Not it may. No, they will use this against you in court. Every single thing that you say. So that was the smartest thing he could have done. And so they frame it as, they take that, telling people on national television, tens of millions of people, that the suspect won't talk, that he's not cooperating. And what he's not telling them is that Robinson actually just said, I would like to speak with my legal counsel, and I'm hoping for a Utah fellow named Doug Terry. Until then, I've had the opportunity to speak with someone. I'd like to remain silent. That isn't not cooperating. That is the 5th and 6th Amendments of the Constitution of the United States. And every official who went on television and framed it as a non-cooperation was poisoning the jury pool. The very same thing they said they didn't want to happen. They are doing it themselves, in my opinion. The defense motion cites Doyle versus Ohio in 1976 and the use of a defendant's silence after receiving Miranda rights warning violates the due process clause of the 14th Amendment. So they cite also not only Doyle versus Ohio in 76, State versus Wiswell in 81. The continued attempts by the prosecutor to put the defendant's silence before the jury after having been advised as his right to remain silent amounts to prosecutorial misconduct. Even officials who told the media Robinson was not cooperating, they knew or should have known that he had invoked his constitutional right. The defense makes that argument explicitly on this that I show you. And I'll read through a little bit more of this. So again, the facts are that the governor, FBI director, deputy director of the FBI, and every other law enforcement officer who told the media that Mr. Robinson was refusing to cooperate with law enforcement knew or should have known. Yet, not one government official who made such statements or any of the electronic media persons, social media, who reported such statements ever mentioned that Robinson had a Fifth and Sixth Amendment right to remain silent until his attorney was present, and that listeners should not draw an adverse inference from such silence. And then they say, see Doyle versus Ohio. We hold that the use for impeachment purposes of petitioner's silence at the time of arrest and after receiving Miranda warnings violated the due process clause of the Fourth Amendment. This is a violation as an attorney, or as in this case, anybody who's involved in this. Then they cite State versus Wiswell in 81 in Utah. The continued attempts by prosecutors to put the defendant's silence before the jury after his being advised of his right to remain silent amounts to the references to defendant's silence are fundamental error, which could have affected the result and therefore prejudicial prejudice. Then they even pull Florida and Bostic. An individual may decline an officer's request without fearing prosecution. We have consistently held that a refusal to cooperate without more does not furnish the minimal level of objective justification needed for a detention or seizure. Third, another type of prejudicial electronic media coverage that gives rise to a presumption of prejudice in this case is the electronics media's insistence on giving prominent attention to demeaning and grossly unfair characterizations. For example, President Trump calling him a monster, depraved, all the stuff that I've told you. All right. And on this show, we go through super chats when I can. I'll get through the bulk of this, and it might be near the end or it might be sometime throughout, but expect towards the end of this, of the debrief. This is the Dankster debrief. So again, two critical details about the timing. Closed for the night, not closed for the weekend. Charlie Kirk was taken out on a Wednesday, September 10th. September 11th was a Thursday. If this happened on Friday the 12th, Robinson's family, facing a capital case, would have spent all day Friday calling attorneys during business hours. They wouldn't be discovering an office is closed for the night on a Friday. This was Thursday night, and I have the evidence of that, which I can show you right now. So let me pull this image up. Okay. So this is from, let me pull this up. Let me see here. Okay. So, and I'm still doing my best to pull all the information together. Inmate booking sheet. Okay, so this is what happens. If you look at the PDF, this is 6:25 p.m. local time. Okay. Does it say a date on here? Does it say a date? Let me see if it says a date. Date and time. I should have looked before. I'm sure it should. Let me see if it says March 11. Or what am I doing? September 11. Doesn't say. September? There's 58. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay. The electronic prejudicial pretrial publicity directed specifically at Mr. Robinson began early morning, they're saying September 12th, following Mr. Robinson's surrender to law enforcement's authorities on the late evening of September 11th. It has continued relentlessly ever since that date. Keep going. Okay, so if we keep going, yeah, so they're going through each September. Okay. Now remember, page 70, they're saying 625. Now, I don't know if it's 625. It says, okay, it says 6:25 p.m. So when you come in, all right, but when you come into the office, okay, and you're talking, I'm just telling you from my own experience, okay? I've been arrested. I've been in jail when I was much younger. I was not a kindly citizen, I guess you could say. I had a lot of issues when I was younger, long time ago, 20 years ago. But when you come in, the first thing they're going to do is read you your rights. It's the first thing they're going to do. So this is assumption is of 6:25 p.m. And then when we look at this booking, after you read your rights to you, they read your rights to you. After you say you want to wait for a lawyer, this and that, then they book you and they arrest you. Okay. They arrest you and then they book you. So the arrest date is 10 p.m., 11 o'clock. All right. Until then, to my knowledge, you are detained, questioned, you invoke your 5th and 6th Amendment, and then they book you. All right. That is the timeline. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. This is how I believe it to be done because of my own experiences in the state of California and in Florida. All right. So if you look at, it says right here, 9/11/2025 at 10 p.m., the arrest officer is Davis. What's interesting, though, is they have another one that says something else. It says 4 a.m., 9/12. So maybe they moved the location, perhaps. But we do have 2 booking sheets here. We have inmate details, name, address, and booking time, arrest date. Why would they arrest him twice? Why would they arrest him twice? Why would they have 2 different date and times? Arrest date is 9/12/2025 on this one with the official seal. This is pulled from the file. Okay. And then here you have 9/11, 10 p.m. Let's see if the descriptions are the same in the statutes. Let me bring these together. Pull these together. So let's see here. Okay. So we have charges 1, 2, 3. Different charges, huh? Aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, obstruction of justice. Okay. So we have felony discharge of a firearm, which is here, causing bodily injury. Okay, so it's upside down. 999 is on this bottom side here. This one, it's reversed. It's just I don't know why it's reversed, but yeah, so it's the same charges, okay? But this is a major red flag. There must be something I don't know. I'm sure there could be an explanation. However, we'll get through to this, all right? But I will say what Kash Patel said. Let me pull what Kash Patel said. This on the FBI.gov's page, it's right here actually. So this is on the 12th. Basically, it says the FBI.gov website, Director Kash Patel's official remarks at the September 12th, 2025 press conference, remarks as delivered. Okay. So and I'll read from the timeline and stuff and compare it to the 6:25 p.m. Miranda timestamp. And let me scroll to this section here. Let me see. So I think it is, let me see here. At my direction. Let me find this. At my direction. Okay. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. 10 a.m. on September 11th, the morning, Robinson would be on camera by approximately 2:48 p.m. that afternoon. So there's no conflict yet. So then we'll put here. Then he says, this is FBI Director Kash Patel. Then shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. $100,000 reward is still $100,000 reward still the morning. Okay, so $100,000 reward still is in the morning and was released at 10:45 a.m. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. All right. So then again, Bongino, let me pull up that video of Bongino. Do I have it? Was it this one? Yeah, 29. Okay, so let's go to this section here.
Relief. We, was only.
Were you there,
33
Dan, when
hours
he was
later.
brought in?
No, he was brought in it was about, forgive me if I'm not exactly correct, but it was about 3 hours from where we were in Orem and that whole Provo area. It was a different place down near St. George. So he was brought in there. So we had to transport him back. We just wanted to be sure, obviously.
So he was brought in 3 hours from where we were in Orem. In that whole Provo area, it was a different place and yada, yada, right? So Bongino confirms Robinson was taken in at Washington County near St. George and transported approximately 3 hours back to Utah County. And that corroborates the booking sheet date showing 1:58 a.m. after a 10 p.m. arrest. Okay. However, it also confirms there was a custody period at Washington County before the transport, and the surveillance video from the custody was not preserved, to my knowledge. Now, where it gets devastating, if we go back to this, let me see. So the governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m. where at my direction, press conference last night at 8 p.m. This is the 12th. Okay. This is the 12th. Remember, we have two booking sheets. Both of them, one of them shows the 11th. He's booked at 10 p.m. But he's read his rights. And it says on the 11th. Okay. In the evening on the 11th. So he's read his rights. He's arrested and booked on the 11th. You don't get arrested, booked, and then your rights are read. That would throw the whole case out pretty much, or at least dishevel the whole situation. Okay. So last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never before seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. 8 p.m. at my direction, the FBI ordered the release of a new suspect video and the images to the American public to help identify a suspect. Okay. Robinson had been Mirandized at 6:25 p.m. That's in state's evidence. He had invoked his silence at 6:26 p.m. and he was on the state's own video. By 8 p.m., he had been on camera for over 5 hours. Presumably. Why is the FBI releasing manhunt material for a person who is already in a room on camera in state custody? Why?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29.
Okay, so we've seen all that, right? So at this press conference, you have Governor Cox, Utah County District Attorney Gray, Sheriff Mike Smith, FBI Director Kash Patel, all on stage together, and they are releasing suspect video, okay? While Robinson apparently is sitting in a room in Washington County, having already invoked his rights. And Patel and said on this page here, we can pull it up here. I'm doing my best, so just follow me best you can, okay? Where is it? Is on this one. He says Patel and just last night the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. Where does he say that? Does he say it here? Just last night. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. And so this is September 12th, Director Patel's remarks. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. So that's the 11th, in less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in historic time period. Okay. 10 p.m., 3 hours and 35 minutes after the state's own video shows Robinson being Mirandized. Patel in less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise. And I'll show you here just so you can see it again. Just last night. All right. 33 hours. That's the number. That's their story. Now, when we compare it to what Attorney Gray said when he filed the charges for 4 days later, he says at a press conference, if I have it here, let's see. Let me bring it up right here. Let me see if I can. Now, this is at 25:48. So here he says, basically, Gray's reading from the charging document. And he states over the next approximately 33 hours, so on and so forth. But listen to his language, because he says the evening of September 11th, not evening, not 10 p.m., not midnight, and surrendered. That's the own prosecutor used the word surrendered and the word evening. 6:25 p.m. is evening. The state's own video puts Robinson in custody and Mirandized at 6:25 p.m. That's 30 hours and 2 minutes after the shooting, not 33. And the video recording started at approximately 2:48 p.m., which is 26 hours and 25 minutes. The 33-hour number does not come from the evidence. It comes from the narrative and or the booking time itself, perhaps.
Political expression. Also, following the press conference, I am filing a notice of intent to seek the death penalty. I do not take this decision lightly, and it is a decision I have made independently as county attorney, based solely on the available evidence and circumstances and nature of the crime. Because we are seeking the death penalty, the defendant will continue to be held without bail in the Utah County Jail. Turning to the 10-page information, these are the allegations. On September 10th, 2025, at approximately 12:23 p.m., Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while speaking to a large crowd on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Police found the suspected murder weapon, a bolt-action 30-06 rifle, nearby. Over the next approximately 33 hours.
So this is it where you need to pay attention right here. So it starts with over the next 33 hours.
Nearby. Over the next approximately 33 hours, police conducted a manhunt for the shooter until the evening of September 11th, 2025, when Tyler James Robinson surrendered to police at the Washington County Sheriff's Office. DNA consistent with...
So again, the evening of September 11th, evening, you would probably say night, right? 10 p.m. Maybe you'd say evening too. But again, that's state's own video putting Robinson in custody and Mirandized at 6:25 p.m. Again, 30 hours, not 33. Now, we've addressed the Discord messages and stuff, but we need to go a little further because this is where the timeline contradiction becomes a lot more serious, or the most serious. According to the reporting by Newsweek, which I should have here, I can bring it up again. Let me pull that up. Newsweek. Let's see here. Newsweek. Yeah. Newsweek. Which one is it? Here it is. So this is the, oh, that's the Times of India. Hold on. Newsweek. I'll just pull it up. Newsweek right here. Newsweek. Tyler Robinson Discord messages. Here it is. I got it right here. Okay. Okay. So according to Newsweek and journalist Ken Klippenstein, a confession was posted on Discord under Tyler Robinson's username, apparently, at approximately 7:57 p.m., which is shows 8:57 p.m. here. Now, I think you backtrack it an hour, perhaps. Those two facts are in direct tension, okay? Because if he is posting this at what would be 7:57 p.m., okay, here it says 8:57, but you backtrack it to 7:57 local time. Those two facts are in tension directly. Again, let me show you this affidavit here. Okay, is this the one I need to show? Number 2 and 3, I think. Let me separate these. Okay, this is 2 and 3. Okay, so in here, it says the probable cause statement, all right, affidavit. And in here, it describes messages from a contact named Tyler on the roommate's phone referencing a rifle, a drop point, engraving bullets, wrapping the rifle in a towel, and then changing outfits. But County Attorney Gray read a much more detailed text exchange at his press conference and buried it in that exchange, I think is something critical. So let me open this. I had everything organized, but then I just messed everything up. Let me see. Is this the one? Yeah, this is it. So 44 minutes. Let's go to 44 minutes. 44 here. So he reads from the text exchange, Robinson to the roommate. Don't talk to the media. Please don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. Ask for a lawyer and stay silent. That is the exact same thing that Robinson himself did when he was Mirandized.
Again, you are all I worry about, love. That came from Robinson. Roommate, I'm much more worried about you. Robinson, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent.
So ask for a lawyer and stay silent. That is exactly the same thing Tyler Robinson did when he was Mirandized, all right? The state charged Robinson with witness tampering, count 6, for telling his roommate to do the same thing. And then every government official, from the president to the FBI director, publicly framed Robinson's identical exercise of that right as not cooperating. Robinson telling his roommate to ask for a lawyer as witness tampering. Robinson asking for a lawyer himself as not cooperating. The constitutional right is treated as evidence of guilt, no matter which direction it goes. Where are we at here? I'm seriously, like, what's going on here? Now, here's the question about the Discord messages specifically. Gray read the detailed text exchange between Robinson and the roommate. That exchange includes Robinson describing being stuck in Orem. We've seen stuck in Orem a little while longer yet, my love. Trying to retrieve the rifle, watching a squad car, worrying about the rifle being found. These are messages. Sorry, I got a text message. It threw me off. These are messages that describe someone who is physically present near the crime scene. Okay, moving around, watching police activity. But by 6:25, Robinson was in a room being Mirandized. And then by around 8 o'clock, 7:57, whether it was 7 or 8, doesn't matter. He was already in a room. When you are in a room under detainment and you're being questioned, you do not have your phone. I'm sorry. Anybody might say, oh, they might have had his phone. They might have let him keep his phone. You're not going to have your phone. Okay. Nobody's going to let you keep your phone so you can text people in a murder case while you're being questioned. All right. I don't understand how anybody could even think that he would have his phone and be able to send out these Discord messages. And also, it doesn't even say that I'm in the prison, right? I'm in the jail right now. I'm being questioned. No, man. The state needs to reconcile these timelines. Either Robinson was freely texting and posting on Discord while also being on camera in state custody, invoking silence, or the timeline of these messages is not what they're telling us. We're being lied to. Baron Coleman referenced the FBI. I want to credit Baron Coleman here, who covered this in his episode. I wonder if I could find here. Let me see. Washington County Sheriff Brooksby gave a public account of how Robinson came into custody. Brooksby stated he received a call at 8:02 p.m. on September 11th from a retired detective, a family friend, telling him that he knew the family of the shooter. And Brooksby said that the call lasted 1 minute and 41 seconds. He said immediately called Utah County Sheriff Mike Smith. And that puts the call to Smith at approximately 8:04 p.m. Let's pull this up right here. Oh, no, I should have done that. Let me see. Right here. Okay, we got more of Kash Patel. So he says right here, let me pull this up. Okay. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share this with people that need to see it. We only talk about what we can pull from government documents, official sourcing. This is how we roll. All right. If that's what you like, stick around. It only gets better from here, or worse, however you want to look at it. So this is Kash Patel on the 12th. Again, his own remarks. Director Patel's remarks on the 12th press conference, Utah Valley. And we could probably play the video as well. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m. Again, during that 8 p.m. press conference, they specifically acknowledged Sheriff Mike Smith by name, standing on stage next to him and alongside FBI Director Patel on camera on video. If Sheriff Mike Smith was on stage at 8 p.m. in the press conference with the governor and the FBI director on television. He was not taking a phone call from Sheriff Brooksby at 8:04 p.m. See, this is the thing about timelines, is that they can get kind of messy. Let's pull this up here. I've got so many tabs now. I don't even know what's going on here. Let me see. I don't want to keep pulling up more tabs if I have it already. It's all right. Here, we'll pull this up. And so this is basically, I don't know if I want to look for it. I don't have the timestamp for this one. But yeah, so essentially they say this. And then there's another layer. Well, Brooksby verified, was very specific about his statement. At 8:02 p.m., 1 minute and 41 seconds, immediately called Smith. The specificity creates the problem because it collides with the documented fact that Smith was on camera at 8 p.m. standing next to Governor. This is Smith, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then you got Kash Patel here as well.
Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11.
They arrived on the scene at 9/11. I want to hear this.
The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period.
I want to show something real quick. Let me, I got to pull this transcript because there's something that I was really impressed. Barron caught it. I was like, wow, man, nice catch here. It's called, what is this? It says, give me 1 second because this was impressive. I want to actually pull it, if I could, from Barron's show here. Let me see. I'll just pull it from Barron's show. Enhanced images. You guys probably have heard of it. But yeah, so essentially what they did is Kash Patel himself, well, here, I'll put it right here. Okay, it's from this episode. Barron. Let me duplicate this.
Do you know? Do you know?
Do you know? And then here we go.
Ring through a.
And then it's at this timestamp. Let me see. 49. Okay. Sorry about this. Sorry to make you wait. I apologize. This is a one-man operation. Where is this dang video? I just had it. Oh, here we go. Okay. Right here. And it is, let me see here. At this timestamp, 49, right? Yeah. 49. 49. Okay.
To really help you out when your case is, you're not really sure which way to go, just listen carefully to something Kash Patel has to say. I want you to listen to this. See if you hear what I hear. There was a money line in here that had gotten past me, and I heard it for the first time today.
Shortly after that 8 p.m. release, at 10 p.m. local time, the suspect was in custody. Why? Because the father informed us, pursuant to an interview of him, that he looked at the video that we released that evening.
That right there's the video he released that evening. Kash Patel is saying, in part, I looked at that video. He thinks His story to you is the father looked at that video and was like, yep, that's the one. That's my son. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you look at this little lightened portion here in the middle and this little bitty pixelated thing. It could be a moth. It could be anything. That is allegedly a human being scampering across the roof. I do believe it's a human being, but there's no way you can tell that watching it. He says he looked in part at the video. That's part of the reason the father was convinced it was him. The video. Really? Really? Now listen to what he says here. Listen very cautiously to what he says right here. Very cautiously.
And the enhanced photos. And
the what? The what photos? I'll play it again. I must not have heard it right. I thought he said enhanced photos. Did they release doctored photos? Hold, please. I've got to listen again.
Shortly after that 8 p.m. release, at 10 p.m. local time, the suspect was in custody. Why? Because the father informed us, pursuant to an interview of him, that he looked at the video that we released that evening and the enhanced photos and identified the suspect.
Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, if you're not driving and you're not at 10 and 2, raise your hand if you knew those were enhanced photos we've been looking at.
Very, very astute finding. Very astute. I think that is quite incredible. Enhanced photos. Enhanced photos. Look, once you enhance an original photo, these do not become authentic images. Not raw surveillance images. These are enhanced. Patel used that word on the record. The FBI director told the public during a national manhunt that the photos they had released had been enhanced. That raises its own set of questions about what exactly the public has been shown all along. And I got to admit, there's one image that's really bothered me. There's really one image that's bothered me the most. I'll show you which one it is. It's this one. It's this one. This one bothers me the most. This one bothers me the most. Something about it. It's ever since that same week, this image has bothered me the most. I don't know what it is. I think it looks like also the scribe at UVU's hospital. I think it's UVU hospital or whatever the hospital is over there. Barron also mentioned the scribe that was attached to Qureshi, or the son of Qureshi. Looks a lot like him, actually. So there's something about it, though. It doesn't look like, if you look back here, Superman, like here, let me open this image here. Like, could this be an authentic photo? Why does this look so... This just doesn't look right to me. Why does this look so... And then look at this. Do you notice how this looks like a curled up page over here? Like, look at how this is conveyed or looked at. Like, can we find another image? Let me see. Let me just look at images Dairy Queen. I mean, could these be real photos? It's possible. Oh, interesting. What is that? Why does that look different? Interesting. Yeah, there's something about this photo that just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know. Maybe I need to... Something about this looks very strange. This looks very strange. The characters on this looks very strange. I'm just looking at everything to see. I don't know, man. But this doesn't look like the same Tyler Robinson. Like, we can look at pictures of Tyler Robinson. I mean, could this be the same guy? Like, look at this picture. Okay. And let's put it side by side with the Dairy Queen photo. Does that look like the same guy? I'm asking honestly, like, let me know in the chat. Can you guys tell me in the chat? Am I tripping, or does this look like different people? Yeah, and there's also no video, and then apparently that I don't know. I heard it was destroyed, but I don't think it was. I mean, let's yeah, we could ask AI. Here, let's see. Let me pull up my AI. It's gonna know that it's Tyler Robinson, but let me see. Let's go to Claude. And I'll go deep in one of these chats that I have about this real quick. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to have it run a Python script for facial recognition and capabilities to determine feature specificity. So you can install like facial recognition with Claude if you run a script. I built my own, so it probably will use either mine or its own. But let's see what it comes out with. I'm very curious. I just don't think they're the same people, man. And also, there's a mole on this face, no? Isn't there a mole here? There's no mole here. Look at the sideburns. Just look at the way the hair is. Look at how dark this hair is and the way the sideburns come down. When you have light hair like this, I don't know, man. I just I don't know. This nose looks more looks larger. The mouth, the jaw is wider. I don't know, man. So it's running the script right now. But anyways, basically, back to the timeline while we wait for this. And I'll actually pull up the which image do I have here? Okay, here's one, right? So again, this one says 9:12, 4 a.m. All right. If we look at the other one, 9:11, 10 p.m. Arrest Officer B. Davis. Okay, this is the officer right here. Arrest Officer B. Davis, right over here. All right. Arrest agency says other. Where are we at here? Arrest agency location. Other on agency. Arrest location outside Utah County. And it says date 9/12/2025, 1:58 a.m. Date in. And then document 2, if we zoom in, document 2 says Utah County inmate details, Tyler James Robinson. Arrest date 9/12/2025, 4 a.m. Booked at 9/12, 7:58 a.m. Other arrest agency, booking number 460956. 460956. What is going on, bro? Status A released. Status. What we need is I have a friend. He doesn't want to come on. I have a family friend that is a sheriff. I'd be very interested to see if he'd come on stage and talk to me about this. Not today, but maybe in the future. But you have different arrest dates, different arrest times. All right. If we put them together. All right. Different arrest dates and times, as you can see here. 6 hours discrepancy in the same county records. Washington, Utah. Okay. Very strange to me. Neither matches 6:25 p.m., which is when the state's own video shows Robinson being Mirandized. Actually, we could go to that PDF. Let's see what he says here. Not cooperating. Oh, this is not cooperating. But yeah, it says it right here. So this is the time of the video. The state will not be able to produce such proof in this case. 20 indicates that on the evening his arrest, so the state cannot provide proof of this case of him being Mirandized. Why not? Why can't you provide that proof? We have 4 different custody times from official sources. We have approximately 2:48 on the 11th. Cameras start rolling per video timestamp 6:25 p.m. on September 11th. Miranda reading per the defense motion, page 70. What I'm showing you right here. It's 10 p.m. on September 11th per Utah County booking sheet. Patel's FBI Gov remarks 4 a.m. on September 11th or September 12th per Utah County inmate details. You have 4 times one person over state records. Bongino confirming on the Megyn Kelly show that Robinson was taken in a Washington County near St. George and transported approximately 3 hours to Utah County. The booking sheets date in says 1:58. This one is okay right here. Booking number, arrest date, date in 9/12/158. So the booking sheet's date in is 1:58 a.m. after a 10 p.m. arrest is roughly consistent with the 3 to 4 hour transport. But the inmate details page says the arrest itself was at 4 a.m., not 10 p.m. These are the state's own records contradicting each other. Any way you put it, okay? Unless there's something I don't know. But you have date in 9/12/158 a.m. You have the arrest at 10 p.m. here. Again, it's like confusing me. So unless there's something I don't know, I only have this to go by. Arrest date 9/11 10 p.m. Date in 1:58. Arrest date 9/12/2025 4 a.m. And then does it have a date in here? Booked 7:58. I mean, what in the hell is going on, you guys? All right, let me go look at the facial recognition. Oh, it's still running. Man, this is doing some serious work. We'll keep it moving. And I'll come back to it. These times, yeah, they're all over the place. Thank you. Thank you for not making me feel crazy. My goodness. If you are new here, there's 1,500 people watching on X and YouTube. Please like, please share. And we're also on Rumble, just so you know. Let me pull up the Rumble in case we've got Rumblers in the chat. We have to make sure that we stick to Rumble as much as possible. I know that in the chat, some people don't use it, but it would be very helpful, okay? Because we are under the spotlight for YouTube. They ripped me off the air the other day. They didn't give me an explanation, and they said I was fine, so I have no idea what I did, and there was no issue. So follow me everywhere you can. I'd appreciate it. Same tag, Dankster Intel. Now, 2 more things before we do move on. Both documented, both in the record. First, Washington County Sheriff's Office surveillance video. Brooksby's own account places Robinson at the Washington County facility for approximately 2.5 hours before state and federal agents arrived. Brooksby said on the record it was about 2.5 hour waiting in a room, not communicating with the suspect. And Bongino has confirmed, as I showed, with the Washington County custody on Megyn Kelly's show. So the facility has surveillance cameras, they say, or they should. Obviously, they should. Oh, wow. Look at this. 0 out of 4 recognition models identified these as the same person. VGG face, no match. FaceNet, no match. Open face, no match. Arc face, no match. Every model exceeded its match threshold significantly. The distance is how far apart the facial features are mathematically. To be a match, the distance needs to be below the threshold. This thing is like refreshing or what? It actually says it over here. I don't know why it's taking so long. Let's see what it says. Okay. In every case, it's well above. Important caveats for your stream if you use this. The right image is low resolution surveillance footage with a hat, different lighting, and a different angle. Facial recognition accuracy drops significantly with surveillance quality images. Hats obscures the forehead and different angles. No match from an algorithm on images this different in quality is not the same as a forensic conclusion that they're definitively different people. That said, Barron raised this exact point. Oh, he did. Okay, good. Noting the photos released at different times looked like different people to him. Yeah, I felt the same way. That's great. With different hair and texture, different build, different facial structure. Patel's admission that the photos were enhanced only compounds that question. So, again, if we go back to here and back to 47.
There's the left leg fully bent.
This may not be the Dairy Queen stuff, but
there's the right leg fully bent. I have no idea why he's.
How can you say that there's a freaking gun in this dude's pants, bro? Please, these people need to give me a freaking break. Need to give me a break. You're not going to convince anybody there's a gun in his pants. You had people. Remember that when they first said this, people were going crazy. Like people were walking, trying to test it themselves, walking with a gun in their pants, and like, this. Obviously, there's not a firearm in this dude's freaking pants. Okay, obviously.
Where this rifle is supposedly hidden, there's the back of his skinny jeans. I still see no rifle. But what's interesting to me about these photos is, I want you to look at something here. I want you to look at this guy here. Then I want to go back and I want to look at this guy here. What's interesting to me about this is, I don't think these are the same people. I don't think that's the same person. Wearing similar clothing, obviously, but they don't look the same to me. And if you go and you flip through these, that looks like a fundamentally different person than this guy does. This was the photo released in the morning.
Let me see what this comment says. 9/11, September 11th, 8 p.m. walks in, sits for 2.5 hours. Utah County B. Davis arrives and they process past midnight, then drive back to Utah County. Then on 9/12 around 3 p.m. the recording starts, and at 6:25 they. Yeah, but in the own documentation it says it up here. I have to type in September, right? Surrender to law enforcement late in the evening, September 11th, 2025, and it has continued relentlessly. So, surrender to law enforcement in the evening, 2025. Maybe you could be right. Let me see. 8 p.m. I wish that you finished it there. You got cut off, Bruce. If you have more, I'll try to find what you're saying, but that could make sense as well. But it does not make sense for the booking times and the discrepancies. Look, I mean, if I have to show it again, I will. You've got arrest date 9/12, arrest date 9/11. Why no picture on this one? Okay, this is county inmate details. So these are different documents. This says right here, county inmate details. Inmate booking sheet and PC statement. Tyler James Robinson. Birthplace. Is everything the same here? Let's take a look. 2003, height, Hazel, 150, brown. Arrest agency is different. I mean, same charges, different documents, different times. It doesn't explain. This is the probable cause. Yeah. I don't know, man. So, also, don't forget, FOIA, the FOIA was requested by KUTV. KUTV 2 News investigates in November of 2025. The surveillance video was never preserved, never shared with any agency, just gone. So they have no evidence of this. Then you have the ballistics. The defense motion references the ATF ballistics testing was inconclusive. The FBI ordered comparative bullet analysis. Bullet-led analysis. We showed, I think it was yesterday, why bullet-led analysis is not conclusive at all. In fact, could be detrimental to this case. 20 years ago, the FBI declared it junk science, okay? So here's where we are tonight, or today, or tonight, or wherever you are. The state's own video, Bates 003996-R2, shows Tyler Robinson apparently being Mirandized at 6:25 p.m. on September 11th, 2025. Okay. He invoked his right to silence at 6:26 p.m. on September 11th. He asked for a specific attorney by name. He was polite. That's what it sounds like, or at least it reads like. And he was coherent. Every government official who went on television after that moment called it not cooperating. Patel said it on Fox. Bongino said it across from Megyn Kelly. Look, let's watch this.
With a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody, right? In custody. Everyone did a great job. We worked with the local police, the governor. Everybody did a great job.
So a pastor was able to turn him in, and where they got the family of the shooter to turn them in?
Well, it was a minister, and the minister went to a minister who was involved with law enforcement, by the way. And his good friend is a top U.S. Marshal. And they took it from there. And then it was a father got involved, namely his father, and said, we got to go in. And they, so I understand it. And again,
you have to watch back the video, Bruce. I showed their timeline stating September 11th. Look. Where is this? Damn, now I got to find it. Was it in this one? All right, here. Let me, give me 1 second. I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up. But we do have the documents from, here, let me see, here. So if you say it here, show it here. That's the thing, is there's so much discrepancy. Okay. It says it in the defense motion. It says September 11th, 2025. Okay. This is where it shows it right here. All right. So charging document 2548. 2548.
On September 10th, 2025, at approximately 12:23 p.m., Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while speaking to a large crowd on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Police found the suspected murder weapon, a bolt-action 30-06 rifle, nearby. Over the next approximately 33 hours, police conducted a manhunt for the shooter until the evening of September 11th, 2025, when Tyler James Robinson surrendered to police at the Washington County Sheriff's Office.
I mean, he explicitly states September 11th here. And then in the video where with Bongino and here, let me see which one it is. Cox, this evening, September 11th at 18 seconds. Patel says last night at 10 p.m. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the press conference. Let me find the press conference. This one right here, I think. Is it this one?
We are celebrating 250 years.
No, it's not this one. Hold on. Here. Is it right here? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend.
So they're saying he reached out on September 11th, the evening of September 11th,
who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI.
Okay, how is it on the evening of, but then of September 11th, you get the call? But early in the evening, you have him arrested and you have it in the document. Here, let me just, let me run the whole document. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. It says on the evening of his arrest. Okay. So it says on the evening of his arrest. It does not say on September 11th, but it says on the evening of his arrest. So on page 5. Let's see, page 5. Page 5. Okay, so let me pull this right here. September 11th. Where does it say? Here. The electronic prejudicial pretrial publicity specifically directed at Mr. Robinson began early in the morning of September 12th. Enforcement authorities on the late evening of September 11th. It has continued relentlessly ever since. But Cox at the September 12th press conference says on the evening of September 11th. Gray's charging document says the evening of September 11th. Brooksby says his call came at exactly 8:02 p.m. on the 11th. The booking sheet arrest says September 11th. And Robinson saying the attorney's office was closed for the night, consistent with September 11th. You don't want to forget that. If he's stating on this page 70, where are we at? 70. Okay, remember, he for the night, because attorneys are not open on the weekend. This is the weekday thing. We can look. I mean, let's go look at the what is it? Doug Terry. Let me pull it up real quick. Attorney Doug Terry, Utah address. Let me see if I can find it on Google Maps. Here. Look. Right here. Right here. It says right here. Okay. Doug D. Terry, Associates, Utah. Friday, Thursday open, closed Saturday, Sunday. Okay. Right here. So the motion states on page 5 that Robinson surrendered on the evening of the 11th. On page 70, the motion states on the evening of September 11th, or I'm sorry, it states that the motion states that motion states that on the evening of his arrest, he was Mirandized. Look. <clears throat> 20 indicates that on the evening of his arrest, Tyler Robinson declined to be interviewed without having an attorney present. All right. So I agree he came in on September 11th. My point is 6:25 p.m. happened on 9/12. Okay. So how do you explain the arrest? So which one is it then? Because he was arrested at 9/11 at 10 p.m. All right. He was arrested at 9/11 at 10 p.m. That's what it says right here. Let me separate this so it's easier to see. Okay. Right here. Arrest date 9/11/2025. Even if it was this one at 4 a.m., he was booked already at 7:58. Do you understand what booked means? You're in jail. So everything had already taken place. And you don't get Mirandized after you're in jail anyways. So all of this is just, I am proving this right now. Either way, that document is stating that on the evening of his arrest, he declined to be interviewed. When you decline and you have nothing else to say, they will book you, arrest you, and then book you, and you're in jail. You're not going to have all of these questions and no. This is how it operates. This is September 11th. If somebody else wants to prove me wrong, please. Prove Barron wrong, please. Go for it. But to answer this directly, on the evening, page 20 even says, indicates that on the evening of his arrest, at P20, at part 20, I don't know if it's page 20 or whatnot, the state would not be able to produce such proof in this case. Discovery Bates 507 at P20 indicates that on the evening of his arrest, Tyler Robinson declined to be interviewed without having an attorney present. A video of the encounter at Bates at timestamp 336. You know why they don't want to show this video? Because that video will have the date. It will have the date. It won't just show the time. It will have the date. That's my opinion. Okay. Let's look a little more through here. So this is, let's go to, let me look through her document here. Information. Let's go to, I don't know. I don't want to waste time looking through here if I don't know what I'm looking for, but let me see. Notice of appearance. I'm pretty satisfied with where I'm at with this. On the evening of his arrest, which it shows, like, you have to understand the process, okay? He surrenders. They bring him into a room, whether he's sitting around for hours or not, whatever. And you have to remember the Discord messages go out after he's already being Mirandized, okay? On the evening of his arrest, September 11th, because you don't get arrest booked and then Mirandized read to you. Do you understand? Let me know in the chat. Here, I'm going to put a poll up. Let me put a poll up here. All right. Yes or no? In the YouTube chat, I put a poll. Do you agree with me? I should have put me and Baron because it's not just me. That where's the poll at? Here it is. Do you agree on the point of September 11th and his Mirandized happening that evening? Miranda writes, I couldn't type that all. It's impossible to send that message. So, look, every government official document or every government official went on television saying he wasn't cooperating, but all he did was invoke his silence. The FBI released new suspect photos after he invoked silence. A Discord confession appeared under his name after he invoked silence. The governor had held a nationally televised press conference releasing never-before-seen footage video with the FBI director standing next to him after he invoked silence. The FBI director directed the release of what he called enhanced photos. The state's own prosecutor standing at his own press conference said, those allegations, what you've heard from the media, even from the state and federal officials, has not been tested in the crucible of a jury trial. I believe it's here at 40. Let me see if I can find where that is again, which I think is pretty interesting. Right here, 45.
Has not been tested in this statement, those allegations. What you've heard from the media, even from state and federal officials, has not been tested in the crucible of a jury trial.
I don't know. Look, I'm just showing you what I can pull up from my end based off of what other researchers, like mostly from what Barron has put out. Okay. Again, those allegations, what you heard from the media and even from, they've not been looked at through it from a jury trial. And then every one of those officials kept talking anyways. The president called Robinson a monster. The VP, Vance, they profiled his life on a podcast. They called him all kinds of names. I've told you many times. A retired FBI agent called him a sociopath. A national media host said she can't wait for the electric chair. In case you missed it. Here, let me find the evidence of that, because I have to show this again. This is just brutal, man. Right here. This is one of the most brutal things I think I could see somebody say that calls themselves Catholic or Christian or whatever.
Did this. It seems very clear to me. My only hope is that I can be there in the room when they flip the switch and take his life. I want him dead. I want the death penalty handed down against him and anyone who helped him. And I will be gleeful on the day it is carried out.
Okay. The records of booking do not match each other. Washington County surveillance video was never preserved. The ATF ballistics were inconclusive. The FBI is falling back on junk science they abandoned 2 decades ago. And the 33-hour timeline does not survive contact with the state's own evidence. Robinson told his roommate, if police ask you any questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. The state charged him with witness tampering for that. Robinson asked for a lawyer and stayed silent himself. The state called it not cooperating on national television. The constitutional right is witness tampering when you tell someone to use it. It is not cooperation when you use it yourself. And it's the bedrock of the republic when the prosecutor reads it as his own press conference. I'm not telling you Tyler Robinson is innocent. Of course not. I'm telling you that I'm not telling you he's guilty, though. That is for a jury to decide, not for Megyn Kelly to spew out on the internet and have everyone else alongside that aligned narrative do the same. But I will tell you that the state's own documents contradict the state's own timeline, and every American, regardless of where they sit politically, should care about that. Because if they can do this to a 22-year-old kid from Washington, Utah, with the president, the vice president, the attorney general, the FBI director, and the governor all publicly declaring him guilty before trial, they could do it to you. That's the show. Share the stream. Thank you for joining. We're going to get into super chats. Whatever there is, memberships and all that. I appreciate your patience. Welcome, Lizard, member, new member. I appreciate you. Remember, let me put the members only live stream banner up. Every Friday, starting before 11 a.m. EST. Come join and become a member. All right. Make this a scrolling ticker. All right. Perfect. Yeah. Members only live streams on Fridays when you're a member on YouTube. Tanyelle, thank you for the Danks membership. Say thank you to Tanyelle. If you got some, I appreciate you, girl. Good to see you. Good big chat, $5. God bless you, bro. Keep cooking. They're on the ropes, running scared. Thank you for that. Look, I'm not trying to have anyone running scared. I think it's important, though, that we hold people accountable. As American citizens, when it comes to us, we are responsible for holding our government accountable for their actions because we are the ones paying them. Okay? We are the ones that pay their taxes, pay their bills, pay their salary, their mortgage, their kids' food. We take care of that. And what do? They send it out all over the rest of the world, and then they use it against ourselves. That's not right. And we have to hold them accountable. That's it. Big chat. Thanks, bro. Hit the like button. Yes, everyone, please hit the like button. Welcome, Shay and Mac. Come join us tomorrow. Jackie Delaney, welcome. New member. Captain Slick, 2 months. Welcome. Discerning Veracity, welcome as a new member. Moonchild, new member. Welcome. Pleasure to have you. A-Lady, member for 2 months. Thanks for joining. What's up, Zero? 2 months of a member. Welcome to all the new members of the Dankster Intel apparatus. Get comfortable for uncomfortable truth. Respect. Yeah, I will say this channel, my slogan at the end of my videos when I put them out, it says, wow, I'm drawing a blank. Truth, where truth meets friction. This is where truth meets friction because there's a lot of friction here. Thank you, bro. Sandy Phillips, everyone needs to know their rights when dealing with LEOs. They don't care about your rights and will step all over them every chance they get. Absolutely. I've been lied to dozens of times. Yeah, that's how many times I've been in trouble. Dozens of times. They get at you, they lie to you, they tell you, oh, you're good, we're going to take care of you. You can speak. Like they act like the only thing they're trying to do is get enough info to prosecute you. They don't even care if you're the person, bro. I'll be honest with you. They don't even care if you. I was arrested and thrown in jail for something someone else did, but those persons ran off and it was my vehicle that was there and I was stuck there. So they actually arrested me off of what he did because I was the last person there. And they didn't want to go chase him down. Imagine that. So I went to jail over somebody else's doing because they didn't want to go run and chase after the actual person that did it. That happened. I mean, I wasn't living the best life, so whatever, it's my fault for being there. But yeah, they don't care about you. They just want to prosecute you. What's up, Christy? Hi, fam. Love Danks. I love you, Danks, for the mods too. Thank you. Love you too, Christy. Thank you for donating for the mods. I appreciate you, and I'm sure they are grateful that because they're here every day, right? So when you help the mods out by chipping in for them, I appreciate that, and it helps them. So thank you. Curious who is running camera on the roof. Yeah, that's the thing. Is if you look at that video footage, that's the thing. I say that a lot. That's the thing. Where is that footage? I guess he has it. But if you look at the way the footage is actually moving, that footage, whatever, you guys have all seen it. The camera is moving with the footage. Thank you, Christy. He was read the Miranda rights and arrested in Washington County for hold for pickup by Utah County, the place of the alleged crime. He was read the Miranda rights and arrested in Washington County for hold for pickup by Utah County, the place of the alleged crime. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's what we're talking about, right? Thank you for the super chat. I wanted to look something up with that, what you're saying. I think that this is what you're saying, right? Yeah, that is correct, right? Miranda rights were read. So think about this. So if they were read, the defense motion says on the evening of the arrest, he was Mirandized, which is at 6:25 p.m. Page 5 says the surrender was at Washington County in the Washington County Sheriff's Office. And then Bongino also confirmed it as well. Arrested in Washington County. The arrest agency says other. The arrest location says outside Utah County. And then Cox also said the family contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office. So Grade's charging document says Robinson surrendered to police at the Washington County Sheriff's Office. And then hold for pickup was about 3 hours from where Orem was at. Yeah, nice one clean sentence there. Thank you for the super chat. The irony of the Superman poster behind TR and DQ and Andrew Colvett saying the doctor said Charlie was Man of Steel. Oh, interesting. I didn't really plug those two together. I find that quite intriguing. Yeah, Man of Steel, huh? Superman, huh? Interesting. Nice pickup on that. Was there a Superman movie around that time? When was the latest Superman movie released in theater? I find this interesting. So the latest Superman movie, 2025, July 11th, 2025, was distributed to Warner Brothers. Following its theatrical debut, was released digitally on August 15th. So after theaters, they shut it down and they put it into, yeah, maybe, I mean, how are we going to prove that? Can you, here, you know what? I got an idea. Let me go to that photo. Copy image. Let me cut this image up real quick. Actually, I don't even need to do that. Let me just take this image. Let me see something here real quick. Was this image an actual Superman promo poster? Can you identify if this is authentic? It's hard to say definitively if this was generated or modified by AI. It appears to be authentic, low quality. Despite the blurriness, it matches the original teaser one-sheet artwork that features a stylized, vibrant red. Let's see. These are good pictures. So would that be the one? I guess so, huh? Interesting. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. A lady, they had to deliver Donald J. Trump a win and sacrificed a lib. Yeah. Well, was he a lib though? I think he was a Republican. I don't know. I've been told so many different things from the media. I have no idea what the hell they are. What he is. Thank you for the super chat, A lady. Bruce Barr not available. I agree. He came in on September 11th. My point. Yeah. Okay. I read that one already. Yeah. I mean, we proved otherwise, unless there's something else I'm not seeing. Thanks. What's up, Marty? Good to see you. Thanks. You're brilliant at this, man. Awesome work. Thank you for your research and the IMP info you share with us all. God bless you and yours. God bless you as well. Thank you. I appreciate you. Anne Marie Tipton. Hey, good to see you, girl. What's up? Always standing up for what's right. Wonderful work. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate you. Good to see you. Welcome to MSJ Podcast. What do you got here? Oh, come on. You haven't done anything in a month. You had 1 month, 1 month, 1 month. You made 3 videos and that's it. You're out. You're out of the game. If you had something new, I would have showed it right now. Come on, bro. All right. Maybe there's something of value here. Let me see. Latest. So you've got 2 podcasts, you've got videos. I mean, for having like hardly any videos, you've got decent views. All right, keep coming back. We'll see you on Friday. MSJ Podcast, great work. Keep going. Go Max. Lori at MSJ Podcast. Thank you, Lori. DQ did a Superman Blizzard collab starting in May. Oh, okay. That's good to know. Okay. Yeah, I don't know much about all that stuff. Obviously, I'm not like a movie Dairy Queen promotional. Look what they say. They said, "Come in with the I want Dairy Queen receipt." Yeah, we need the receipts, man. My goodness, I got some clips I wanted to play. Let me see if I can find them. I think it's from. Let me go find the timestamps of. Yeah, man, this is just so crazy to watch. Like all these people talk about it, like as if it's fact. All right, Baron did mention I want to play. I know I'm playing a lot of Barons. He's been doing great work lately. Shout out. Okay, so I think it's at 18-minute mark. 18 minutes? No. New plane. New spy plane. So I haven't had a chance to watch this whole episode. I wanted to see this new plane section. So let's see a little bit about it, just so I can
think they can explain it away after we're going to show you what we're about to show you. Because what happens next is incredible.
You've got to go watch his show, man. If you don't know, I mean, I don't know how you wouldn't know. I think most of you follow me from Baron, or we are at least have. But the last 2 episodes, man, I've been wanting to finish this one. I stopped like right here. I just watched like a few minutes of it. I'm not going to take all that from him, but go watch his show because he's been on fire lately. He brought me back into it. I was covering other stuff. But, you know, I'm like that. I like to cover things in and out. And then as things break, I'll come in and I'll add my part to it. I'll come back. I'll wait and sit back. So I'm kind of like, I'm like the, like they bring the evidence. You know how Baron says a lot of times, like, hey, I'm going to bring this out and then I'll let you guys do the rest. Well, I'm one of those guys that I'll come in and I'll go deeper and I'll dive in all the way. You know what I mean? I'll just go as far as I can. All right, let's wait. Let's pull back. Let's see what's up. And then we'll go hard again. I'm like the technician. You know, I go in there I'm the surgeon. I'm the self-proclaimed surgeon, the social media surgeon.
What happens next is absolutely incredible. There is a planned trip.
Welcome to Possibilitographist. Bro, what are you doing to me, man? Welcome.
The day Tyler Robinson turns himself in, there's a planned trip. One of these planes. This is not Axle 10. This is Axle 21. It's a different tail number, a different plane, but the exact same program. And I'm going to highlight it here for you. I'll zoom in as much as I can before I pull it up so that you guys don't get lost. This is the day Tyler Robinson turns himself in to the Washington County Sheriffs. There's a planned trip from one of these very highly sensitive, fancy planes. This is September 11th, 2025. It leaves Ontario, California at 6:59 p.m. It lands in El Paso, Texas at 10:15 p.m. So it's in the air a little over 2 hours. I guess you lose an hour going that way. And we had looked at every single plane that had flown in and out of St. George in and around the time Tyler Robinson was turning himself in. Because we wanted to know, was anybody else on the ground? And this plane did not show up on the local landing scheme because it wasn't supposed to be in St. George, Utah. I'll show you the track of the plane, and then I'll show you some telemetry of the plane. Here is the track of that flight. It leaves Ontario.
I don't know how, Baron. This is one of the things I can't. Myself, I can't. The planes and I will get lost in the sauce. I'll tell you. So kudos to him and his team. I can't. I'm just not capable of that.
California here on the left, where the little yellow plane is, and it's headed this way, and it's going to land over here. So you would think, what's the shortest distance between two lines? Between 2 points. It's a line. So you would think it would fly this way, right? It would go from here over to here, but it doesn't. It goes up here. And we zoom in and we say, what's up here? We can't tell. There's no labels on this map. This is tail number N2100L. It's the same type of plane. It's the same Hades program. So we go and we pull it up on the ADSB. You'll never believe where this plane went that night. This is while Tyler Robinson is at the station.
Uh-oh.
This is St. George, Utah. This is where Tyler Robinson turned himself in. St. George, Utah. You can see if I back it out here, this plane leaves Ontario. It does not fly over here to El Paso where it's going. It flies northwest, and it does a little loop over St. George, Utah. And at one point, it's flying very low and very slow, just like it did, just like its brother plane did the day before at the Charlie Kirk assassination.
Huh.
It's flying 126 knots at one point. And then it circles around. The entire circle, it arrives on the scene around 2:35 Zulu time, and it leaves the scene around 3:10 Zulu time. So it was there about 45 minutes in this area right here. You can chalk that up to coincidence. You can see how it loses altitude after it passes Las Vegas and holds that low altitude and then drops a ton of altitude as it circles around St. George and then heads back out. You can say, oh, yeah, well, lots of people fly from Los Angeles to El Paso via Utah. I mean, I guess you could make that claim. But you've got on your hands an unbelievable piece of equipment. I'm going to show you a little bit about what this plane is capable of. This is an announcement from the company that made it. Delivered the aircraft in support of the United States Army's High Accuracy Detection and Exploitation System, Hades program.
I've looked at this plane. He's right. It's built specifically as an investigation spy type of operative plane. And it has advanced intelligent surveillance mechanics. Let's see what he says.
During a ceremony, let me make this a little larger for you here so you can see a little better. During a ceremony held at the U.S. headquarters in Wichita, Kansas. It's interesting, Wichita, Kansas. We've seen that a lot when we looked at the Egyptian planes. It was a lot of Wichita, Kansas. A proven platform providing range, speed, reliability, and endurance represents the ideal fixed-wing solution for the U.S. Army's next-generation intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance aircraft flying higher, faster, and farther than legacy airborne sensor platforms. I think that was all I wanted to see on this one. Let me go to the next one here. Here are some of the capabilities of this fantastic machine. It truly is a fantastic machine. I just wish it wasn't around in the aftermath and the early hours before the Charlie Kirk assassination. It makes me a little weird considering what we know now. It's been monikered the ME-11B, but the sensor suite, including the ASARS-2B and Signals Intelligence System, enhances the Army's ability to collect actionable intelligence in real time, a critical factor in multi-domain operations. ASARS-2B, as described by the War Zone on March 27, 2025, builds on the legacy of the Royal Air Force's Sentinel R1, which utilized a similar radar on the Bombardier Global's Express. Advanced data processing capabilities, supported by SNC's AI-driven RAPCON X system, enable rapid analysis and dissemination of intelligence, reducing the time from collection to actionable decision-making. Capability is particularly vital in scenarios where mobile targets, such as missile launchers or troop movements, require immediate tracking and response. as noted in the Army's strategic vision for deep sensing and defense scoop. This is an unbelievable piece of machinery. It can deploy drones. It can read encrypted communications, and it processes them all in an onboard AI environment where it can give you real-time actionable intelligence. That machine decided to fly over Tyler Robinson turning himself in.
So I want to tell you something about this plane. Okay. So he goes through and he shows this plane flies through, right?
235.
But what you need to understand, there's something unique about this plane. Okay. It is within the realm of capability that it can actually see what's going on inside of that building. All right. So this is the ME-11B. All right. And what it can actually do, and what is publicly known, I'll tell you. It has what's called advanced synthetic aperture radar systematics. And it's a synthetic, basically it's a synthetic aperture radar, SAR, and it can penetrate walls, roofs, and some building materials depending on the frequency. All right. So it was originally developed for the U-2 spy plane. It provides ground imaging through clouds, darkness, and in some configurations, it can go through structures. It can see through structures. The resolution is classified, but publicly estimating around a meter or so of being able to view through structure. Signal intelligence, on like these systems on an aircraft, SIGINT aircraft systems like this can intercept electronic communications. They can interrupt and interpret cell phone signals, radio frequencies, and other electromagnetic emissions from a specific location. Okay, so if Robinson had a phone, or if the building had any electronic communications going in or out, if officers were using radios, this suite of intelligence system could intercept all of it in real time. They have Rapcon X, which is an AI-driven processor, and this collects intelligence in real time and it disseminates it. So meaning whoever tasked that aircraft could be receiving live intelligence feeds straight from that location. So could they be seeing Robinson through walls like X-ray vision? Maybe not exactly, but they could monitor all electronic communications in and out of that building in real time. They could use the SAR system to detect human movement patterns inside of the structures itself. Some frequencies can detect bodies through the walls, and they can intercept cell phone activity from Robinson or anybody else in that building. And they can actually geolocate every device in the building. So there's something called the Posse Comitatus Act. Generally prohibits the use of military assets for a domestic law enforcement scenario. There are exceptions, but a military aircraft with SIGINT on it orbiting a county sheriff's office during a state criminal custody situation raises serious legal concerns about who authorized it and why. Now, it looks like Barron has the flight data confirming that this aircraft was indeed over Washington County and over this location where Robinson's custody window was at, and that's a significant find. I would say that they've identified some serious military intelligence aircrafting with signal intelligence and signal interception and synthetic aperture radar intelligence systems and capabilities in the airspace. So that's what somebody needs to tell them this. Watch the end of the show, the last 2 hours and 25 minutes. I can't speculate, but I will tell you, they can intercept like all the things I just said. Here, let me look at something real quick. Let me ask the AI what it thinks what it thinks about this. This is important. Ask for rumblers. Hey, what's up, bro? We got a rumbler in the house. Hey, good to see you guys. So, yeah, here I asked my AI. So let's go ahead and bring it in over here. Okay, so at 126 knots, a low altitude over a fixed target like a county sheriff's office, that's not transit speed, that's an operational orbit. Here's what the platform could realistically be doing at that profile. SIGINT collection, most likely primary mission. At low and slow, the signals intelligence suite can vacuum up everything electronic in a tight radius, every cell phone in the building, every call made, every text sent, every radio transmission between officers, Robinson's phone if he had one, his parents' phones if they were there, the retired deputy's phone, every officer's body cam frequency and radio channel. If Robinson or anyone near him was communicating during that 2:48 to 10 p.m. window, that aircraft would capture it. This matters because the Discord confession appeared at 7:57 p.m. The SIGINT suite was collecting. They would know exactly what devices were transmitting from inside that building, and critically, whether Robinson's device was one of them or whether the Discord post originated from somewhere else entirely. Real-time geolocation of specific devices. At that altitude and speed, the SIGINT systems can geolocate individual cell phones to within meters. They can determine not just that a phone is in the building, but what room it's in, and they could track whether Robinson's phone was on his person, in a property bag, or somewhere else entirely. They could also determine if someone else was using his accounts from a different location by triangulating where the device pinging Discord was physically located. The SAR ground imaging through structure. At low altitude, synthetic aperture radar can map the interior layout of a building and detect human-sized targets through walls and roofing materials depending on construction type. A county sheriff's office is typically concrete block, steel frame, or similar. Some SAR frequencies can penetrate this, some don't, but at minimum, they can map how many people were in the building, where they were positioned, and track movement patterns. Communication pattern analysis, RAPCON X, the AI processing system, doesn't just collect, it analyzes it in real time. It can map who is calling whom, build a network graph of all communications in the targeted area, identify encrypted versus unencrypted traffic, and flag anomalies. If someone inside that building made a call to someone in Washington, D.C., Quantico, or anywhere else, the system would log it, timestamp it, and associate it with the device and location. Here's what it means for the case. If that aircraft was collecting during Robinson's custody window, there existed a signals intelligence record of every electronic communication in and around that building during the exact time period where the timeline contradictions exist. That record would answer definitively, was Robinson's phone active at 7:57 p.m. when the Discord confessions was posted, or was it off or confiscated? Who was communicating with whom inside that building? When did federal agents actually arrive at Washington County? Not when Brooksby said they did, but when their devices pinged in the building. Was Brooksby's 8:02 p.m. call to Smith real? And if so, where was Smith's device at that moment? At the press conference or somewhere else? Was there communication between anyone in that building and anyone involved in the Discord post? The problem, if this was a military asset, the collection falls under classified intelligence channels, not law enforcement evidence discovery. The defense may never see it. It may never be disclosed. And if it was collected under military authority during a domestic criminal case, disclosing it would also expose a potential posse comitatus violation. There's that word I was talking about. The act I was talking about. The most sophisticated thing this aircraft could be used for is not spying on Robinson. It's building a parallel intelligence picture that exist outside the legal discovery process, where the defense can't access it, the court can't review it, and the public will never know what it captured. Wow. Wow. That's some scary shit. Wow. What's up, Yuli John? Any comment? My email to you, read Mike trajectory through the shirt. It's interaction with necklace, Mike back, shoulder, front, necklace snap. I didn't see it. I've got so many emails, but just so anyone knows, I am not dealing in any of that stuff. I am not interested in even looking at how that stuff happened because I cannot prove any of it. And I am not going to filter through hours of footage. I don't have the time, to be honest. Not that it's not valuable, but I am not capable of determining that just from looking. I don't trust any video anyways. And personally, I'm not interested in things that I cannot pull documents from and talk about. So unfortunately, my opinion is that don't waste your time on me with like, watch this video and see who was there and was this. I really don't care. I much prefer documented evidence and things that I can prove, not speculate. No disrespect. I appreciate you taking the time, but I don't want you to waste time on sending me information that I'm not going to review. Thank you for the super chat. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. God bless. Keep your head on a swivel. We'll see you in the next one. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, tomorrow morning, members only. All right. So we'll see you in the morning. Receipts over narrative, facts over feeling. It's your boy Danks.